start your practice in a comfortable cross-legged position. I like to sit up on a blanket to keep my hips a little bit higher than my knees. It tends to be easier on the hips and prevents you from rounding back in your lower back. Once you've found a comfortable seat, if you'd like, soften your gaze or drop your eyelids, closing your eyes. Just take a moment to welcome yourself to your practice. Feeling yourself in the space, so you might notice your sits bones resting on the mat. Notice your posture. And is there an opportunity to grow a little taller, reaching the crown of your head to the sky? And is there an intention that you'd like to set for your practice? Is there some kind of a shift that you'd like to make? Maybe that's reduced anxiety. Maybe it's feeling like you've moved some energy. Maybe it's feeling more grounded or more settled. It might be just simply feeling like you've stretched. So there's no rules. It's your practice, your intention. Why are you here, and what would you like to see shift? And plant that as a small seed. And a few more moments settling in, feeling yourself resting on your mat or whatever surface you're lying on, sitting on. And then opening your eyes, we start with a side stretch. So some modifications for a sore shoulder or arm. You can keep your hand resting in your lap. Alternatively, you could bring that hand to the ground just for a little bit of support. So your choice. The other hand will reach out and up towards the far corner of the room. So you want to lift it up just enough that your shoulder stays comfortable and you start to feel some stretch in your side waist. If it feels better, your hand can come to your shoulder or reach it out. And the more you can stretch that hand away, the more you might be able to lean over to the opposite side. Notice what you feel through your side body. Notice what else you're feeling in your back and your shoulder. And our goal here is to be comfortable. So if this doesn't feel right, again, hand to your shoulder, you might even find you can get a stretch with your hand down or behind your back. So don't feel like you have to stay stuck in one place. And it doesn't have to be a deep stretch. It's just a subtle opening. You might start to feel the hip lifting, and see what happens if you shift a little bit, rooting it down. And then come back to center, and we'll go to the other side. So hand in the lap or on the ground, arm reaching out. Notice where your eyes are looking. And where do they feel more comfortable? So you can play with that a little bit, looking down and then looking up, looking straight ahead. Reach the arm a little bit more. You can see that just softening the shoulder on the other side. And what's happening in your hip? Does it need to come down a little bit? and then come back to center. Next we move into a twist. So opposite hand comes to a knee. Other hand can rest in your lap or it can come behind you. And then you'll roll that shoulder away. Rolling that shoulder away, you'll feel right around, squeezing your shoulder together. And generally the upper back really enjoys the stretch. So, and we tend to focus more on the upper back. See if you can also feel a little twist in your waist. You're going to rotate your neck. This hand that's on the resting there. And then come back to center. And we go to the other side. So shoulder rolls back, shoulder blades hug together. With an injury on one side, there is a tendency to operate in a very lopsided way, move through life, do things lopsided. So here, there's an opportunity to balance things out. You may even want to, and I suppose I could have said this earlier, switch the crossing of your legs. And then that way your legs are balanced as well. Rotating your neck as far as you can comfortably. Notice once again where your eyes are most comfortable looking. If you find yourself holding your breath, take a big breath in, let it go. And then back to center. Our next movement will be cat-cow, and for cat-cow I like to come off my blanket. Hands can come to your knees or in your laps, but I would encourage you to keep them somewhere where you can hold on, not gripping, but just gently resting. And for cat-cow, we round back, curving the spine away, kind of like a Halloween cat. And then we come forward, pulling the heart between the shoulders and lifting up tall. You also call this rooster, and you can think of a proud rooster lifting up and then rounding back. And as you start to get more comfortable with your breath, we can add the breath here, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Once again, the upper back and shoulders tend to get most of the attention, and they have the most mobility. Let's see if you can spend a little bit of time being aware of your pelvis. So you're going to roll forward towards your pubic bone and then back towards your tailbone. And then pause. Where do you feel it in your spine? Is it comfortable on your shoulders? And if it's not, can you adjust? Is it better to have your hands down or maybe at your heart? And then switching, coming forward as cow or proud rooster. Where are your eyes? And what changes if you look up or look straight ahead? And then come back to center. And from here we're going to come up to standing. Tadasana, or mountain pose. You can have your hands at your side. This is a classic mountain. Your feet will be parallel to the outside edge of the mat and about hip width apart. Spread your fingers wide, look straight ahead. Feel your fingertips like they're reaching down towards the ground. And notice, if you can, where the weight is on your feet. You might want to shift a little bit forward into the pads of your toes and then into your heels. And then come back, find a center place. Right in the middle of the heels and the toes. And bring your hands to your heart, what we call Hridaya Mudra, which is the gesture of the heart. Closing your eyes or dropping your gaze, softening. Feel your hands gently resting on your heart. And then take one or both hands very softly to the sides of your face. On your inhale, inhale through your nose. On your exhale, through softly parted lips, like you're creating a breeze. Not pushing the breath. And then go back for a moment, noticing your hands on your face or your one hand with the other hand on your heart or at your side. Feel your fingertips. Feel your palm and where it's resting on your cheek or your chin. So can you tell where your pinky is touching, where your ring finger and your long finger and your pointer finger and your thumb are? And then let that go. Open your eyes. And we move into tree pose. So start standing on one foot. Feel your weight start to shift. And then bring the heel of the other foot up to your ankle. And you can stay here for balance. A tippy toe on the ground is helpful. Or if it's comfortable and you're not struggling with your balance, bring the sole of your foot up to your calf. And you notice you might start to feel tippy here. Just notice where your balance is shifting. If you're getting to a place where you're continuously falling out and coming back, bring that toe down again for stability. You start to feel a little bit of warmth building in your standing leg. You might notice where your fingers are touching. Notice your gaze again. Where is it most comfortable? And then shifting that knee forward. The toe can stay down. We're going to try another balance sequence. So we'll lift the knee up and then step it back, taking a nice comfortable step behind you. So when you get there, your heel can be up. That might be comfortable. You could also play around with the heel down. Reach through your fingertips. If your heel is up or down. You might start to feel a little stretch through your calf. So you could play with lifting the heel, dropping it down. If it's rooted down, press down into that foot, like you want to push the foot into the ground. And you're keeping your front knee bent. Here, there's an option to bring your hands forward. Spread your fingertips wide. And again, depending on how your shoulder's feeling, maybe lifting your arms a little bit higher. You can also bring them to Hridaya Mudra. Feel your feet. So there starts to be some pressure as your feet root down. You might start to feel a little warmth building in the quad, the upper leg of your front leg. Drop your hands, step it forward, and we'll come into tree on the other side. So start feeling that foot. Try to get your weight balance between the heel and the pad of the toe. You start to shift your weight into that leg. Lift the opposite heel up so it touches your ankle. And stay here, or lift the sole of that foot up to the calf. And start to feel your knee shifting back a little bit and how that changes what's going on in your hips. And where is your gaze? And can you find a place that you can settle your gaze on? Staring, like you're staring at a pinprick in front of you. You might start to feel some warmth or energy moving up your standing leg. I feel it in my calf. You might feel it somewhere else, maybe in your hips. And now again, shifting that knee forward. The toe is down, that's totally fine. And taking a long step back, as far as you can comfortably go. Heel up or down, your choice. Trying to reach the heel down to the ground, or if it is down, root it down. Bring your fingers forward, stretching them wide like you're reaching. You can be quite assertive in your intention. So here's a pose where we build what we call tapas. So it's like determination, burning off a little bit or using some fire to burn your way towards whatever it is that your intention is. It's not angry, aggressive, effortful, controlling. It's more determined. And with that determination in mind, you may want to find a point in the wall directly in front of you, feeling like I've got this. Whatever it is that you're wanting to achieve in your intention. And then release, step forward, shake it out a little bit. And then we'll come down onto our backs on the mat. Once you're down on the ground, you can use a blanket underneath your head if that's going to be more comfortable for your neck. tuck your shoulders underneath. Your arms are resting gently at your side or wherever they feel most comfortable. Your knees are going to be bent. You feel the soles of your feet. You can tap them a couple times on the mat. And then start to notice the little space in your lower back. So there's a natural curve on your lower back. There's not quite as much weight around your lower back on the ground as there is in your hips and your upper back. So you can notice that. And then flatten that out. See if you can press your lower back into the ground. And then exaggerate, arch your back a little bit more. And do that a couple of times. Again, once you start to feel more comfortable with your breath, you'll inhale as you lift and exhale as you drop back. And then come back to neutral. Root into your feet, so feel them pressing into the mat, and lift your pelvis up as high as you can comfortably. At this point, if you can bring your hands slightly closer together, then do that. If you can. So you start to feel some warmth again building in the quads, the top of your legs. Feel your shoulders resting, more weight than normal. And feel your feet. It might help to lift and spread your toes. Really noticing the texture of the mat or whatever surface you're on. And then come down. And heel toe your feet out to the edge of the mat. And same thing, exaggerate the arch of your lower back and then press it down. And then exaggerate, and press it down. And one more time. And then come to a neutral spine, so everything feels like it's settling in. Try to have your knees lined up above your ankles. So sometimes there's a tendency to roll your knees in or out. You want them lined up, and the toes can point out slightly. Root into your feet, lift your pelvis. You might notice this is easier or more difficult than feet closer together. So is there a difference? There doesn't have to be. Sometimes there is. Feel again, tops of your legs getting warm, shoulder blades heavy on the ground, arms comfortable. And then come down. And for our final two poses, we're going to come to the wall. So rolling over to one side and using your arms, if you can comfortably, to lift up. And I'm going to slide my mat towards the wall. You're going to come in a comfortable distance from the wall. So maybe a foot or so away, 30, 40, 50 centimeters. Knees bent at about 90 degrees. Shoulders again are comfortable. And then bring one ankle on top of the left knee. So you're crossing your legs. A stretch on your hips. You might feel your ankle resting on your knee. Feel the foot on the wall, shoulders again, soft. We'll just stay here for about a minute or so, feeling that stretch. The more the knee draws away, the more you're going to feel the stretch on your hip. And then release and bring the other ankle to knee. That knee reaches away. The foot that's on the wall can root in. Sometimes working both legs helps to open that knee a little bit more. And again, I could have mentioned this before, if it's more comfortable to have a blanket under your head, that's an option. You feel that stretch. Notice if your chest is popping up. Let it drop. And then release. And straighten your legs, and we're going to finish our Shavasana with legs up the wall. So you could, if you wanted to, get a little bit closer to the wall. You can kind of inchworm your way up so your legs are slightly more straight. Arms at your side. 3 letting go breaths. That's the inhale through the nose. Soft exhale through your lips. Just 5 times. Bring your hands to your heart. And remember again your Sankalpa. Think about transitioning out of your Shavasana, your final resting place from your practice. Move slowly. Take your time. Even if your mind is feeling an urgency to move on, remind it to go slow just for the next minute or so.